everybody, welcome to today's video, and today we are going to try a Bob Marshall treeless saddle on a hard to fit horse. So here's a look at an older Bob Marshall by Circle Y treeless saddle. This is Bo. Bo's basker curly, and Bo has an odd shaped back. Forgive, he's got a few little bumps and bruises, but the big thing is we've had a hard time fitting him. We literally took him to a saddle fitter with hundreds of saddles. I've tried at least 25 saddles on him, nothing will fit him, especially when you have a saddle made for a quarter horse or a different breed. That's why we're looking at going treeless. And for treeless, we're going a used treeless with a Bob Marshall. Okay, this is an older model. It is a 1999, and you can tell when you look over here, the last numbers are the year that it was made. So this one's had a little while to marinate, so to speak, but it's a front and a back cinch, and as you can see, it distributes the weight. They're using more of a Y rigging underneath here, so it does have shoulder relief properties. They do have a special blanket that goes with it, and the big difference is in the fenders. As opposed to having large fenders, you have more of an English type fender, and it does allow for some free movement. So that's the older Bob Marshall by Circle Y treeless saddle. Here you go. This is the cobbled together version. I'm not exactly happy with everything overall. The girth is a 28. He's actually considered a large pony. I'm not happy where this is hitting. I actually will like a girth that hits lower, that opens this. Unfortunately, I don't have anything smaller right now, so that's what we're going to try it out with. But I will have to say, probably have to go to a pony girth for this. Now the back cinch, also cobbled together, doesn't quite match, but it is keeping that line off of his shoulder, so that's a little bit easier. Also, this blanket needed to be for a square skirted saddle, not a round square saddle, so this is the wrong blanket, and I need one that is a little bit longer. And unfortunately, you do have to get the custom saddles or custom blankets to fit these saddles, because they do actually fit under, kind of like an English saddle. So we're gonna have to make those changes as well. So Bo has been the most challenging horse we've had as far as finding a saddle that fits him, just because of his flat back. And with different breeds of horses, sometimes you may have to come to this solution, which, like I said, is we're going with a treeless saddle, so it allows his movement. Now I'm liking the way he's moving. I maybe have the saddle a little more farther forward than it probably should be, but it is holding and it is allowing him to move. So overall, I think this is probably what we're going to have to work with. Thanks for your opinion on that. This is really my first time to ride in this Bob Marshall treeless saddle. Now, the big difference is the way that you sit. There is no saddle tree, and your weight is distributed directly over the horse's back. So when you stand, that's putting full pressure on and across the entire horse's back. Now, this seat is a little bit on the snug side for me, but I'm going to deal with it. It sits you straight up. The big difference I've noticed so far is in the fenders. The shorter boots are not going to be as nice. A short boot is going to hit right where the fenders come together. So I'll definitely go with longer boots or taller boots, just to kind of keep that area. Now it does give me access to my buttons. If you go up here, remember, button number 1 is in front of the girth. That's going to work on moving that forehand. Button number 2 on both sides pushes that horse forward. And button number 3 is going to be right in front of that girth. Come on, buddy. There we go. He's still working on kind of releasing that a little bit better. There we go. Overall, it's pretty soft. Now let's do a little trotting. Trot. So we're going to start out with a sitting trot. Now, getting and finding your balance is a little different. because remember, you're pushing directly onto the horse's back. It's not distributed. So he definitely feels that. And once I find my center, it's very much like riding in a bareback pad, just with a cantle and a pummel smacked on. So it sits you up straight and requires you to be really neutral with your feet and really soft with your seat so you don't really bounce. Ooh. So overall, my impressions of it is that if you're not quite used to riding in like a bareback pad situation or haven't ridden English, it's going to feel really weird. It doesn't feel like a Western saddle. But as far as a solution for a horse with a hard to fit back, it's worth a shot because, again, they will fit everything, but there are some modifications you have to make. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, to see more about treeless saddles and different types of treeless saddles, check out my Treeless playlist.